Hi, if you work in early childhood education, you already know this. You're doing some of the most important work in the world, and somehow it's still some of the least respected. And today I want to talk about why that needs to change. Not someday, not eventually, but right now. Because early childhood education isn't just cute, it isn't just fun, it isn't just playtime, although playtime is important. It is the foundation of human development. Let's start with the science. During the first 5 years of life, the brain is developing faster than it ever will again. We're talking millions of neural connections forming every single second. Children are learning how to move their bodies with control and confidence. They're learning language, problem solving, emotional regulation, social skills, executive functioning, all the things adults rely on every day. And who is guiding that? Who is shaping that? Who is supporting that? Early childhood educators. But here's the disconnect because the work often looks joyful, or at least it should, because it involves play, at least it should, because it doesn't always resemble the traditional image of school, people underestimate it. They assume it's simple. They assume anyone can do it. They assume it's just about keeping children busy until kindergarten. But nothing could be further from the truth. High quality early childhood education requires deep expertise. It requires understanding how children learn through movement, exploration, and relationships. It requires knowing how to scaffold skills without rushing development. It requires reading subtle cues, adapting environments, and responding to big emotions with calm, consistent guidance. It requires planning, observation, documentation, communication, and constant problem solving, all while managing a room full of children who are each developing at their own pace. This is not entry level work. This is not unskilled work. This is not work that should be dismissed, minimized, or underpaid. This is specialized, professional, deeply impactful work. And yet, early childhood educators are often treated as if they're doing something anyone could do, as if the job is simply watching kids, as if the science of early learning doesn't exist. Part of the problem is that society tends to value what it can measure: test scores, grades, data points. But early childhood education is about the things that matter before any of that is possible. It's about helping children feel safe, helping them feel connected, helping them feel capable, helping them build the internal architecture that makes future learning possible. You can't put that on a standardized test, but you can see it in the way a child learns to take turns. You can see it in the way they solve a conflict without hitting. You can see it when they try again after something feels hard. You can see it in the way they light up when they feel understood. That is learning. That is development. That is education. And early childhood educators are the ones making it happen. Let's talk about the emotional labor because this work isn't just cognitive, it's relational. Children don't learn from people they don't feel safe with. They don't explore when they're overwhelmed. They don't take risk when they feel judged. Early childhood educators create the emotional climate that makes learning possible. They regulate themselves so children can co regulate. They model empathy, patience, and problem solving. They hold space for big feelings, not just the children's, but often the families too. That is real work. That is skilled work. That is undervalued work. And here's the thing: when we invest in early childhood education, we're not just supporting children, we're strengthening families, we're supporting the workforce, we're improving long term outcomes in health, education, and economic stability. We're building stronger communities. Early childhood education is not a luxury, it is not optional, it is not nice to have, it is essential. So, why does early childhood education deserve more respect? Because it shapes everything that comes after, because it requires expertise, intention, and heart, because the people doing this work are literally holding the future in their hands every single day. If you're an early childhood educator, I want you to hear this clearly. Your work matters, your knowledge matters, your impact is immeasurable. And it's time the world recognized that. In my next video, I'll talk about why we as early childhood professionals must advocate for our field and for the children. But don't worry, it's not as challenging as it sounds. Until then, thanks for all you do.